की जय। नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. This is Chinmay Vrajapriya Devi Dasi, welcoming each one of you to our Bhakti Sangha mid-morning session today. I know who all have joined today's call. And before that, I want to thank Uma Mataji. Thank you, Mataji, for that beautiful recitation of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Chinmay Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Guranga ki jai, and all the assembled devotees. This is Shivani from Ashwin, Virginia. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Uma Mataji, for the beautiful recitation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shivani Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for all your wonderful services you do at Bhakti Sangha. And welcome, Mataji, for today's call. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is me too from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna, Nitya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Welcome, Mataji, and thank you for joining each and every day. And welcome to today's call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Chinmay Mataji, Dandavad Pranam to you and all Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for your blessings you give us by joining us every day and encouraging each one of us. And welcome to today's call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Uma from Portland, Oregon.
Hare Krishna, Uma Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you once again for that beautiful recitation of Bhagavad Gita. Thank you for joining every day and welcome, Mataji, for today's call. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for giving the opportunity to channel.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada, this is Priti Vilasni from Atlanta. Thank you, Uma Mataji, for the very beautiful chanting. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Priti Vilasni Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all the Guru Maharajas. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for all your services you do. Thank you for encouraging each one of us here. And welcome, Mataji, for today's call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranams. My Dandavad Pranams to all the devotees on the call. Jai Srila Prabhupada. This is Suksagari.
Hare Krishna, Suksagari Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for all the services you do. And welcome, Mataji, for today's call. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha mid-morning session. And we are continuing our Chaitanya Bhagavat classes. Happy Ekadashi to each one of you. And today we have His Grace Govardhan Giri Prabhuji talking on Chaitanya Bhagavat. But before I hand over the call to Prabhuji, I will read Srila Prabhupada's quote for today. On our palms, there are certain marks for a particular person, indicating his fame and fortune. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has got certain signs on his lotus feet, which are unique for him only, and they are not to be found in ordinary living entities. This was said by His Divine Grace in a letter to Bhurijan Prabhuji on October 28, 1969. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mataji, Prabhuji is not yet here, right? We'll chant till Prabhuji. Or if anybody wants to go ahead and introduce themselves, we can welcome you. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Govardhan Giri Prabhuji. Thank you so much for giving your precious time and coming here to talk on Chaitanya Bhagavat. So we are all eagerly waiting, Prabhuji. We always wait for your classes. So today Prabhuji will be talking on Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhya khanda, 16th chapter from texts 108 to 126. So please take over, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya.
You need this SEC now.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jemudire. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Lankhayate Girim Yat Kripatam Mande Sri Guru Dinatarinam. Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyeswaram. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Dinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadipah Shati Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are reading from the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhya khanda. Chapter 16, the Lord's acceptance of Shuklambara's rice. And we are reading from text 108 onwards. So the beginning part of this chapter is actually Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic kirtans at Srivas Thakur's house. And we are continuing from there. Text 108. Bhagyanurupa kripa kare sabare dubila Vaishnava saba ananda sagare. As he bestowed mercy on everyone according to their good fortune, all the Vaishnavas drowned in an ocean of ecstasy. Mahaprabhu's various pastimes are seen by his devotees according to their qualification. The impersonalists who are indifferent to the Lord are totally unqualified to achieve the Lord's mercy. People who are expert in pious activities and are engaged in fruity work think that they have achieved their desired perfection in temporary material enjoyment by obtaining illusory benedictions. The Supreme Lord is controlled by the love of his devotee in proportion to the devotee's endeavor to engage in his service. The employment of temporary happiness by selfish fruity workers and cultivation of impersonal Brahman by mental speculators cannot be called mercy. Due to their piety, the devotees of the Lord become free from the inauspiciousness of unrestricted sense enjoyment, fruitive activities, and mental speculation. So here in Chaitanya Bhagavat, it is saying that as he bestowed mercy on everyone according to their good fortune. So this receiving mercy from the Supreme Lord, even from Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the earlier part of the chapter, we have already seen how Srivas Thakur's mother-in-law, she was trying to sneak into the kirtan, and then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not very happy about it. So like that. Now, according to their good fortune, the Lord bestowed mercy on everyone. So, actually, good fortune is primarily reserved for the devotees of the Lord. Why? Because the Lord is Bhakta Vatsala. The Lord is very specifically merciful to the devotees. And Lord is also, he also has got this Bhakta Vashyata. Currently, we are in the holy month of Kartik Damodara. So in Damodara Leela, Shukdev Goswami tells Parikshit Maharaj that, Krishna brings out his Bhakta Vashyata in that Leela, where he gets tied by Mother Yashoda. So, this the Lord will exhibit only to the devotees. And only the devotees can see it, relish it, and become happy. The Jnani or the Karmi or the Yogi, they don't get this good fortune because they have not understood about the personality of the Supreme Lord. So only people who engage in devotional service and endeavor to develop an understanding about the personality of the Supreme, they get bestowed by this mercy of the Lord. And thereby, such devotees can actually, factually see the Lord. That is why in Shastras and the Acharyas say that Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, Adi. They say, So there is Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, So starting with the holy name of the Lord, then everything will become revealed to the devotee. Only to the devotee. Why? Because the Jnani, he is, through his process, he is negating the personality of the Lord. So therefore, he cannot enter into the realm of that enjoyment of seeing the Lord, hearing the Lord, the pastime of the Lord, the qualities of the Lord. He is completely devoid of all that understanding. And Paramatma also, because he is not understanding this all-encompassing nature of the Supreme Lord, so he also misses out that personal side of the Supreme Personality. Although he is meditating on the four-armed form, but he is not getting to know the person, Supreme Lord. Therefore, he also gets excluded, so to say. So the devotees, as it is said here, they are extremely fortunate, and therefore they are getting this mercy. Bhagya Anurupa Kripa Kare Sabare. And by that Kripa, what is happening? Dubila Vaishnava Sabha Ananda Sagari. So it is only the Vaishnavas, it is only the devotees of the Supreme Lord, those who have surrendered to his lotus feet, only they can actually swim in this ocean of transcendental enjoyment. Others can at best stand at the banks of this ocean and just see how the devotees are swimming. That's all. Sammukhe dekhaye shuklam bara brahmachariya nugraha kare tare gauranga Sri Hari. Seeing Shuklambara Brahmachari standing before him, Lord Sri Gaurhari bestowed his mercy. Now, we are going to be introduced this personality, Shuklambara Brahmachari, who is a great devotee of the Lord, He's a very renounced personality. And because of his renunciation and complete surrender, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shows him special mercy. Say Shuklambarera Sunaha Kichu Kathan Avadvipe Vasadi Prabhura Janma Yatha. Now here the topics regarding Shuklambara Brahmachari, who lived in Navadvip, where the Lord appeared. Parama Swadharmarata, Parama Sushanta, Chinitena Pare Keha, Parama Mahanta. He was always engaged in his occupational duties and he was most peaceful. Although no one knew it, he was a great devotee. One aspect of a great devotee, one aspect of a Mahatma is that a Mahatma does not require to advertise himself that I am a Mahatma. A Mahatma need not be certified by a majority of illiterate people that he is Mahatma. So therefore, Shuklambara Brahmachari is a great devotee. And that is acknowledged by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So therefore, what he has got, the acknowledgement that he has got is the topmost acknowledgement. That is what is being noted here. Navadvipe ghare ghare juli lai kanthe bhiksha kari adhar nisha Krishna bali kande. He would take a bag on his shoulder and go beg alms from house to house in Navadvip. He would cry while chanting the names of Krishna day and night. Bhikari kariya jnana loke nahi chine daridrera avathi karaye bhikshatane. People thought he was a beggar and therefore could not recognize him. He was so poor that he had to beg alms to maintain himself. Being deceived by external vision, foolish people considered that Shuklambara Brahmachari was an ordinary beggar who desired sense gratification. The ideal examples of poverty or deficiency displayed in the activities of Krishna's devotees who dress as bhikshukas or beggars cannot be understood by persons who are maddened by false ego. Persons who are puffed up with false ego and bewildered by the illusory energy consider the Lord's devotees as afflicted by poverty and forced to enjoy the fruits of their karma. But they are incapable of understanding the poverty, deficiency, or lack of material possessions in Vaishnavas. Although such Vaishnavas are exalted, they visit the houses of poor householders in order to help the living entities accumulate Ajnata Sukriti or some unknown devotional service. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila chapter 8, text 39, it is stated, Mahanta Swabhava ei tari te pamara, nije karya nahi tabu yana tara ghara. It is the general practice of all saintly people to deliver the fallen. Therefore, they go to people's houses, although they have no personal business there. As a result, the giver acquires Ajnata Sukriti. Only those who can understand this spiritual propensity are able to worship Hari by accepting the dress of a beggar in the temple of devotional service and by helping foolish people who are attached to material objects attain piety. Accepting pure Brahminical behavior, the beggars in the temple of devotional service do not engage in self-deceit by remaining on the platform of materialistic Brahminical behavior, but rather engage all their accumulated alms in the service of Krishna. Since Vaishnavas do not abide in the so-called Brahmanism based on self-gratification like the Brahmanism that's averse to Krishna and aimed at enjoying the fruits of karma, they engage everything in the service of Krishna and do not allow the fools of the world to understand their characteristics and exalted position. Now here it is saying that Shuklambara Brahmachari was a Daridra. Daridra means poor enough to beg alms for his maintenance. So normally people, the society has a very low opinion about beggars. And in many cases, in majority of the cases, beggars are beggars who beg for sense gratification. And also another reason why even in a society where people understand some Shastra, they look at Daridra or somebody who is in poverty as somebody who is suffering the results of their past karma. Because we understand that one becomes a poor person in this birth due to one's bad karma. Good karma means one is born in, a house which is a very cultured family, in a family where there are they are well to do. Even Srimad Bhagavad Gita says, Shuchinam Srimatam. No? So like that, those kinds of births are considered to be a result of pious activities, good karma, etc., etc. And when somebody is born into a poor situation, in poverty, they are considered to be of bad karma. So therefore, there is generally a tendency to look down upon. But one has to be very careful when it comes to the devotees of the Lord. When it comes to the devotees of the Lord. Because a pure devotee of the Lord may look to be a poverty-stricken person. He may look to be somebody who is hardly able to make ends meet or support his maintenance and things like that. But because we cannot estimate that particular person's level of advancement in his devotional service, we should not think that it is simply him suffering his previous bad karmas. That would be a great offense to the devotee. Therefore, it is better for us that we don't judge somebody's poverty, that we don't judge somebody's material opulence either, because we do not know. So here, Shuklamra Brahmachari would carry a bag on his shoulder and he will beg for alms. In the Vedic system, a Brahmana is actually expected, different types of occupations are given for Brahmanas. I think it is in the 7th canto, towards the end. There is discussion about the 4 orders of life and the 4 varnas, 4 ashramas. Discussion is there. So in there it says that a Brahmana, the best thing that Brahmana to maintain himself is by begging alms. Why? Because a Brahmana is expected to spend all his time studying and trying to understand the absolute truth and give only very little time for this maintenance of this body. So therefore he goes and begs alms, whatever he gets, he's happy with it and he maintains himself like that. Or he can accept some grains, he can accept in charity some land and do some cultivation. He can take up the position of a Vaishya only in terms of cultivating some grains and things for himself. Or he can go by a field and then he can beg for rice from there. Or he can pick, grains that are left in the field. So Shastra gives all these things for a Brahmana to maintain himself. However, in the modern society, that is practically impossible because such systems do not exist and such supports do not exist. And even 500 years back, Shuklamra Brahmachari was being looked down upon by the society at that time. So we can imagine. Although it is said that the Vaishnava, when he is going to a Grihastha's house, begging alms, actually the Grihastha who is giving charity gets benefited more than the person who is accepting the charity. However, he is not affected by accepting the charity because he is simply engaged in Krishna's service, and whatever he is going to get in charity, he is going to engage that also in Krishna's service. Therefore, there is no wrong for a devotee of the Lord to maintain himself like that. That is understanding we must take from this particular example of Shuklamra Brahmachari. Bhiksha kari divase ye kichu viprapaya, Krishnera naivedya kari tabe shesha khaya. After begging during the day, the Brahmana offered whatever he received to Krishna and accepted his remnants. So this is what I said, that his life is so simple. His life is so simple. He is not thinking that, by begging and getting something, I am going to improve my situation, or that gives me some scope for material sense enjoyment. Such type of begging is discouraged, to be discouraged, because that is simply another way of increasing sense gratification. Increasing sense gratification, you wear a tie and a suit and sit in an air-conditioned room and increase sense gratification. You can be out on the street begging and getting something and use that for increasing your sense gratification. At the end of the day, the end result remains the same. So therefore, both are equally not so encouraging for spiritual life. That is how we have to look at it. We have to follow simply the acharyas, we have to accept all that is favorable and reject all that is unfavorable. So here Shuklamra Brahmachari is begging, he is not pratikulasya varjanam. So he doesn't have to do varjanam, he doesn't have to give up. Anukulasya sankalpaha pratikulasya varjanam. So for him, this begging alms is actually, by that activity, he is purifying the giver of charity, and whatever he is receiving, he is not looking for some sense gratification. He is simply offering to Krishna and accepting the remnants as prasada. So this is actually very ideal Vaishnava life, because rest of the time he is engaged in serving the Lord and cultivating Krishna consciousness. So this is very, actually speaking, this is ideal. Krishnananda prasade daridrya nahi jane, baliya vedaya Krishna sakala bhavane. In ecstasy of receiving Krishna's mercy, he did not know poverty. He would chant Krishna's names as he wandered from house to house. So, as I said, he looked to be poverty stricken. He looked to be poverty stricken. But Shuklamra Brahmachari was never miserable. Why? Because whatever Krishna Prasadam he was getting, he was completely content with. And while going from house to house, he was simply chanting Krishna's name, hearing Krishna's name, begging some alms. If he gets, okay. If he doesn't get, he's okay. So he was actually completely akinchana. He was completely akinchana. He didn't have any sense of proprietorship. He didn't have any sense of misery that, oh, I am begging like this, so I am in a very bad position. He never felt like. You see? So this is how ideally the devotee's consciousness should be. Not really so much worried about, the material position and the designation and this and that and the other. Because eventually all these things become irrelevant at that one particular point. This whole thing, whatever big designation we have, everything becomes irrelevant. So somebody like Shuklamra Brahmachari, he has already understood. He's already understood. Therefore, he is in that state of mind and always very ecstatic and very happy. Chaitanya kripa patra kechi nite pare yakhana Chaitanya anugraha kare yare. Who can recognize a recipient of Lord Chaitanya's mercy? Only one who is favored by the Lord is able. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he shows mercy to somebody, we cannot understand. But rest assured that anybody receiving the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is extremely fortunate, very blessed. He is extremely fortunate and very blessed. So therefore, we can all be very happy. We should all feel that I am a recipient of the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the Guru Parampara, through Srila Prabhupada and his Prabhupada Anugas, the followers of Guru. So we are actually recipients of the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And actually that is this mercy of the Lord is the dhana. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that the real poverty in this world is people are poor in bhakti. That is the real poverty. You know, the other poverty, whatever you try to do, you cannot solve it. Why? As Srila Prabhupada says, it is man-made. It is man-made. Srila Prabhupada always used to say that all this famine that you see is man-made. All this lack of food is man-made. Because why? There is enough for everybody's need, not enough for everybody's greed. That is the principle. You see? So therefore, that poverty, the poverty of, in terms of Krishna consciousness, in terms of bhakti, that is the bigger poverty. And anybody who has been a recipient of the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot be poor. Anybody has got mercy of Lord Krishna, he cannot be poor anymore. But externally, he may appear to be poverty-stricken. He may not be materially opulent. But he will be transcendently happy. Why? Because he is receiving Krishna's mercy. And however big material opulence we have, transcendental happiness will not come just because our material opulence increases. Some material happiness may or may not increase. But there is no way for transcendental happiness to even appear, let alone increase. So here Shuklambar Brahmachari is in transcendental bliss. Because he is surrendered to Krishna, he is chanting Krishna's names. So he is favored by Sri Chaitanya. Why? Because he is completely akinchana. He is not bothered by this material situation. He is gone beyond that material situation. That is why he is able to remain very peaceful. He is able to remain happy. Both these qualities, we can see that materially becoming opulent will not bring these two qualities. In fact, most of the time the result will be, it will bring the opposite. No peace, no happiness. But peace and happiness can come when one becomes the recipient of the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Purveyana Achila Daridra Damodara Saimata Shuklambara Vishnu Bhaktidhara. Shuklambara engaged in the devotional service of Vishnu, just as the poor Damodara did previously. The word Damodara refers to the Brahmana named Sudama. He was Krishna's friend and companion. This is discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 80. We know that Sudama Brahmana, who studied with Krishna in Sandipani Muni's Gurukula, he was a Brahmana and he was very poor. He was married, his entire family, they were poverty stricken. And because his wife will put so much pressure on him that finally he decides to go to Dwaraka and visit Krishna. It's very nicely explained by Shukdev Goswami in the 80th and 81st chapters of the 10th canto, where how Krishna meets Sudama Vipra and removes his poverty. Although Sudama Vipra did not go to meet Krishna to get his poverty removed, but Krishna was very pleased to see his friend, and therefore he accepted his friend's offering of flattened rice, and then Krishna bestowed him with Aishwarya. This is one of the reasons why in South India especially, this offering flat rice to Krishna, is a very favorite offering. It is actually stemming out of this Sudama offering flat rice to Krishna and then becoming very opulent. So everybody thinks that, by offering flat rice to Krishna, I too shall become opulent. But then Krishna's relationship with Sudama, Sudama's relationship with Krishna, the background of Sudama offering flat rice to Krishna, these are all things in question that we very conveniently forget. Sudama was so poor that he did not even have that flat rice to take with him to offer to Krishna. Is it not? That his wife had to borrow it from somewhere because he didn't want to go empty-handed to see his Lord. So to that extent he gave. So Sudama's offering of that flat rice to Krishna is not some flat rice. It is actually something that was even over and above his capability. That is what he offered to Krishna. He did not even have the capability to offer that flat rice, but he offered. That means it's beyond his capability. And that pleased Krishna very much. Because my friend came, visited me after so long, and he expressed his love. And Sudama returns very happily. Vaham daridra papiyan, Krishna Sriniketanaha, Brahma Bandhur itismagam, Bahubhyam Parirambhanaha. That's Sudama's recollection. He says, Kwa aham daridra papiyan. I am a daridra, I am a papi. Kwa Krishna Sriniketanaha. Where is Krishna, who is the Niketana of Sri? That means Sri, Aishwarya, he is the holder of Aishwarya. He is holding Sri, in his chest. And Brahma Bandhur Idismagam, I am not even a proper Brahmana, Bahubhyam Parirampana. And how lucky I am, and how great Krishna is, how merciful he is that he did Alingana, Bahubhyam Parirambana. Krishna holds Sudama in his embrace. So this was what the experience that Sudama relished. And Krishna also relished that old meeting with his old Sakha, with his old friend. So that is that charitra, that history between Sudama and Krishna. And again, there Sudama seems poverty-stricken, but actually he was very content, even while being very poor. Here, Shuklambra Brahmachari is in a similar situation. Saimata Kripa O Karila Vishwambara Ye Rahe Caitanya Nirtye Badira Bhitara. Vishwambara bestowed such mercy on him that he could remain inside the house to watch the Lord dance. So Shuklambra Brahmachari is allowed inside to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sing and dance. So that itself shows that Shuklambra Brahmachari is now, just as Sudama was hugged by Krishna, to be embraced by Krishna, that is Sudama's greatest wealth. When he goes back, he sees big palace and his wife dressed and children dressed and all these things. And materialistically thinking, people may think, see, he got all these things. But no. He felt the greatest thing that he got seeing Krishna was that Krishna's love and affection for him had not changed. So that was for him, that was the greatest, benefit that he got. Here the greatest benefit Shuklambara Brahmachari is getting is that he is now become part of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Kirtan party and is allowed inside. So that's great. That is the greatest that anybody can aspire for. Vasyachaye Prabhu Ishwara Vese Jhuli Kandhe Shuklambara Nache Kandhe Hase. As Vishwambara sat down in the mood of Supreme Lord, Shuklambara danced, cried, and laughed with the bag on his shoulder. So, seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shuklambara Brahmachari becomes completely transcendently blissful. So he's dancing, crying, laughing, all the while that bag, which he takes to collect rice, as begging rice from various houses. So that bag is also hanging and he's very happy. He doesn't look like a miserable beggar, not like that. He's completely transcendently happy. Even when it mentions that he cried, it's not that he's crying some tears of sadness. No, these are all tears of transcendental happiness. Shuklambara dekhiya gauranga kripamaya aisa kari prabhu balay sadai. While watching Shuklambara, the most merciful Gauranga repeatedly called out to him, come, come. Daridra sevaka mora tumi janma janma. हमारे सकल दिया तुम्ही भिक्षु धर्मा आम्ही तुम्हारा द्रव्य अनुक्षणा चाय तुम्ही ना दिले आम्ही बला करी खाय. You are my poor servant, birth after birth. You give me everything and remain a beggar. I always desire your foodstuffs. Even if you don't give me, I forcibly take and eat them. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is indicating to Shuklambara Brahmachari that he is Sudama. Why? I always desire your foodstuff. Even if you don't give me, I forcibly take and eat them. This is exactly what happened when Sudama visited Krishna in Dwaraka. No? He was feeling very odd, very awkward to give that flat rice because he's seeing the opulence of Krishna's palace in Dwaraka. It is like a heavenly planet. It's even better than that. So he was thinking, how I'll give this? I just brought some chipped rice covered in some cloth. So how can I offer this? He is the emperor of Dwaraka. And his level of opulence is Sudama cannot even in dreams, he cannot, imagine that such opulence is there. So to that extent, Krishna is opulent. So he is wondering how he will give. And then Krishna is snatching it out of his hand and taking it. So Mahaprabhu is saying something similar. Mahaprabhu said to Shuklambara, you are my impoverished devotee birth after birth. We have no desire to enter family life and become a householder. You beg alms door to door as brahmachari and offer me whatever you collect. You are a Naishtika brahmachari or lifelong celibate. You are free even from even the mundane false ego of the grihasthas and vanaprasthas. Being situated in Paramahamsa Dharma, you have accepted the occupational duties of a renounced Akinchana. Therefore, you are fully surrendered Tridandi Bhikshu or Vaishnava Sannyasi. You have been able to fully offer me all endeavors of your body, mind, and speech. I always long for your offering. You have no preoccupation in enjoying anything other than offering everything to me. Therefore, I forcibly took everything away from you, and as a result, you are like Srila Prabhupada always mentions that Bhagavata shloka, Harishye taddanam shanehi. Oh, his special favor to his devotee. Bhagavatam says that Krishna will take away everything. All those material things that become an impediment to our surrender to Krishna. When Krishna becomes very merciful on us, he will take that away. So that you will no more depend on that. So that we will completely depend on Krishna. Even in the Varnashram system, the idea of going from Grihastha to Vanaprastha is that. Because in Vana, in forest, you cannot depend on yourself. Because it is full of wild animals. You don't know whether you will get food or not. There are no restaurants in the forest. There are no Govindas. There are no, satras where, or big prasad bhandar where you can go and, they deliver or they feed prasadam to the sadhus. There is no such facility in the forest. So a forest vanachari learns to depend more and more on Krishna. So similarly, now here to Shuklambara Brahmachari, Lord is saying that already you are renounced. That is why you didn't want to enter Grihasthashrama. Because Grihasthashrama and then Vanaprastha also some amount of false ego is there. Why? Because Grihastha feels that I am supporting all these, ashramas. Because I am in the Varnashram system, only Grihastha is earning money. Other three ashramas, they are not earning anything. So naturally, the Grihastha is maintaining the other three ashramas. So therefore, he will have some false ego. I am the maintainer, like that. So Mahaprabhu is saying that you have avoided even that by remaining a brahmachari. Even Vanaprastha, how he will have false ego? Because he will think that, see, I was Grihastha, I have now given up everything. So like that. Whatever I made possession, I gave up. So in all these things, whenever we get material possession, some false ego enters along with it. While giving it up also, we get false ego. While doing charity also, false ego hits us. Oh, I am doing charity. Is it not? So he's telling Shuklamra Brahmachari, you are ideal. You are akinchana. You are the best Tridandi Bhikshu. Why? Because Manasa, Vacha, Karmana, everything you are offering to me. And simply you are acting as a Bhikshu. Means simply begging alms and pleasing me by chanting and offering whatever you are getting, you are offering to me. That way you are very, you are doing wonderful service to me. And I am very, very happy with you. That is why I keep you like this. So that is why it is said that when the Lord's pure devotee is seemingly poor or poverty stricken, we should understand that that person has got this special mercy of Krishna. So we always hear how Srila Prabhupada, he says that, when Krishna shows very special mercy, Krishna will take everything away. So similar incident also, as everyone knows, it happened in Srila Prabhupada's life. Suddenly everything went down overnight. He became like a pauper, lost huge loss in business. So because Krishna arranged that huge loss in business, so today we all got devotional service. That day, if Abhay Charan Day also had thought that Krishna should show mercy by making my business flourish more, we would all still be like Kita. Kita means insect. We would be like that. But because Krishna took that away, so then Krishna, gave this whole worldwide movement through him by taking something away. But he was utilized by Krishna as the instrument to give something much bigger, on a scale that is unimaginable to the whole world. So this taking away something from the devotee becoming poverty stricken, devotee seemingly becoming poor, these are all things that are happening at the transcendental level where the devotee is involved. For a regular person who is not a bhakta, he becomes rich, he becomes poor. Those are things that are governed by the rules of karma. But for a surrendered devotee of the Lord, it is different. So that is why Shuklambara Brahmachari, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, as a result, you are poor. As a result, you are poor. Dwaraka majhe kuda khadi khailun tumar tora pasarila kamala dharila hastamora. Did you forget that I forcibly ate your broken rice in Dwaraka? Kamala, the goddess of fortune, got hold of my hand. So this is in 10th canto, chapter 81. Krishna says, my friend, have you brought this for me? It gives me extreme pleasure. Indeed, these few grains of flat rice will satisfy not only me, but also the entire universe. After saying this, the Supreme Lord ate one palmful and was about to eat a second when the devoted goddess Rukmani took hold of his hand. And then she says, Yatavatalam Vishwatman Sarvasampat Samruddhaye Asmin Loke Tavam Vamushmin Pumsastvat Toshakaranam. Queen Rukmani said, this is more than enough, O soul of the universe, to secure him an abundance of all kinds of wealth in this world and the next. After all, one's prosperity simply depends on your satisfaction. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is reminding him like this, that don't you remember how Rukmani caught my hand? Because that one palmful of flat rice only was enough for you to become opulent. So that is what I said earlier, that many people think that, by offering a handful of flat rice, we will get some big house and, all material opulence. Not like that. This is Leela, and we cannot apply that to our imperfect, dirty, materialistic intelligence and mind. Etabali hastadiya julira bhitara mushti mushti tandula achivaya Vishwambara. After speaking in this way, Vishwambara took a handful of uncooked rice from Shuklambara's baking bag and began eating it. Text 126. Shuklambara bale Prabhu Kaila Sarvanasha Eitandule Khuda Kana Bahuta Prakasha. Shuklambara exclaimed, O Lord, you have ruined me, that this rice is full of broken particles. So see how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showing mercy to Shuklambara Brahmachari, and is also exhibiting to all the devotees how he accepts the devotion of his devotee. Mahaprabhu did not even wait for him to cook and offer him that rice. He didn't wait for him to cook and offer the rice. He simply took the rice out of his jholi, his bag, and ate that raw, uncooked rice. Mahaprabhu was pleased with Shuklambara Brahmachari to that extent. So it's always the bhava with which what we offer, that is what attracts the Lord. That is what attracts the Lord. It is not the quantity, it is not, what you call the opulence that you show to the Lord, because the Lord cannot be impressed by any amount of material opulence. We can show all the material opulence to the Lord, but to think that the Lord would be impressed by that is utter foolishness. Because first of all, he does not, this material opulence for the Lord is nothing, zero. It has zero value. Even intrinsically for the soul also in the material world, all the material opulence has zero value. But in our conditioned state, we think that, this actually is value, artha. But spiritually, when you look at it, it is an anartha, something that's not required. Why? Because these things actually take one away from Krishna service by building up false ego, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is pointing. Therefore, what we have, how much we have, is irrelevant in our development of Krishna consciousness, in our development of bhakti, it is irrelevant. But how we feel for the Lord, how we develop that relationship with the Lord, with feeling. In the beginning, 108th shloka, it says, no, depending on your good fortune, the Lord will show, or we are able to see the Lord to the extent of our feeling, our bhava. That is why the impersonalist never gets. Why? Because he has zero bhava. In fact, he has negative bhava. Why? By denying a personality for the Lord, he actually has negative bhava. It's not even zero. Therefore, he will never be able to enter into the realm of the pastimes of the Lord. Is it not? Because Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. Is it not? So if you take Rupa out of it, then you cannot see the Guna or the Leela. And if there is no form, then where is the question of Nam? Is it not? The form will be known by a name. And as far as the Supreme Lord is concerned, the name, the form, the Guna, the Leela, everything is inseparable from one another. And everything is absolute and everything is the same. None of this is similar in the material world. Is it not? You are known by many names. People change names. Names actually do not have any meaning. The form, it has no permanence. The gunas are all material. And we don't, in the material world, we are not performing any leela. Simply we are acting based on our previous karma. We are being forced to act. Therefore, none of these things exist in this material platform. All these things are there in the spiritual platform. And in order for us to even peak in there, we have to develop this genuine bhava, bhakti for the Supreme Lord. Then we will be allowed to enter. Then we will be allowed to see what is happening. Initially, even if we are not able to jump into that ocean of transcendental happiness and then swim and enjoy it, at least we should come to the shore of that ocean of happiness, and see how others are enjoying. Then that will inspire us also to surrender to Krishna and jump into that ocean of transcendental happiness and then swim in it. Anandambudi vardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadam. So to enjoy that nectar fully, we should simply surrender, renouncing all these unwanted things. Renouncing does not mean you wear torn clothes and things like that. Not like that. From internally we must be renounced. Externally, showing some renunciation is of no use. Internally, we are fixed in a very renounced mood. Krishna will be attracted. And he knows us inside out. So what we are showing outside, what we have inside, everything Krishna knows. So there is no question of cheating Krishna. Therefore, Krishna will know. Therefore, we have to try and become transparent. And like Shuklambra Brahmachari, then we will be able to receive the mercy of the Supreme Lord. We can receive the mercy of Lord Caitanya. Like it is said, unless we receive the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, there is no hope for us in this Kali Yuga. Therefore, we always even recite, hear, chant the pastimes of Krishna. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes very pleased by that, and Nityananda Prabhu. And that is our way of going forward. So it is very wonderful that we are able to discuss this Chaitanya Bhagavat, this auspicious month of Kartik. remembering Krishna, remembering Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, remembering Balarama, remembering Nityananda Prabhu. These all bring transcendental happiness into our otherwise miserable material lives. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. As usual, Prabhuji, a very, very beautiful class. Really very nice, Prabhu. So fortunate to hear from you. How you said recipients of Mahaprabhu's mercy are the most fortunate ones. So, I mean, I speak for myself. I've just taken initiation. I'm just there. I don't know what I'm doing, but I mean, even saying that and reinforcing it, it made my day, Prabhu. So I'll really be thankful to Mahaprabhu. I don't know how long, at least for today, I should really be thankful to him. Thank you for reminding me that again and again. And how nicely you put that actual poverty in this world is just being poor in bhakti, nothing else. All this material things are there, it comes, it goes, and when it's there, it just gives us all that pride and nothing. Being poor in bhakti is the real poverty. And you gave Srila Prabhupada's example. That was so nice. And if even Srila Prabhupada had prayed that give me back my material opulence, where would we all be? So nicely you put that, Prabhu. Very nice. Totally a very nice class, Prabhuji. And when you said the Lord was not even ready to wait for Shuklambar Brahmachari to cook that broken rice and offer him. So he just took it and ate. So our attitude and bhava, and we should try to be inside out the same way. Very nice class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really grateful.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Very, very nice class, Prabhu. Very engaging. Thank you. I really liked some points that you mentioned, like how a Mahatma naturally doesn't need any validation from others. He's naturally acknowledged by the Lord. The mood of Shuklambar Brahmachari as a surrendered devotee, and then how when we're giving something, especially in the case of Shuklambar Brahmachari, it was very nicely pointed out that he was giving beyond his capability. But people today, what we are doing, we are just imitating an advanced devotee and then trying to do something that they are doing, which is, and we think that we are being, Lord is being pleased, and we have an internal desire to get some material benefit actually when doing that. Like you were mentioning how people like to offer chipped rice so that they get rich. So it is more of an imitation, and they have so much money, more than chipped rice. But at the same time, even giving that chipped rice, the internal desire is let me get more. So that was interesting. And one thing that stood out was this pride of the Vanaprashtis. I never thought about it. It is so true, right? After we give something or give up something, especially after we give up something, there is so much pride that I gave it up. I was thinking that is so true. And that just reminded me the story of Sudhama is so beautiful, and he's such a wonderful devotee. At one point, Chakravarti Pad, he says that there was a very subtle pride, very, very subtle pride that I am poor, that pride. Oh, I have given up everything. And here in Shuklambar Brahmachari's case, we see that that was also eradicated by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So nice, so many lessons, and all these personalities are so inspiring. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu, for bringing out these beautiful gems while you speak. Your classes are filled with realizations coming out of the heart, and it's very inspiring for all of us. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for highlighting all those wonderful points.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Danvat pranams. As everybody said, Prabhu, excellent session. I just have one question, Prabhu. Normally, when we tell this pastime of Shuklambar Brahmachari, we normally correlate it with the pastime of Krishna and Sudama in Krishna Leela. But in reality, Shuklambar Brahmachari was not Sudama, right?
Well, there are two versions in this Chaitanya Leela, no? There is always many of these personalities. There are two versions. One is that he is Sudama appearing in this Leela. The other one is that he is one of the Brahmana Patnis who wanted to offer, cooked rice to Krishna. But, they were stopped by their husbands. So one of the Brahmana Patnis became Shuklamra Brahmachari, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted from Shuklamra Brahmachari. So, like the two opinions are there.
But Kavi Karnapura in his Gorgonosh Deshtipika, he only writes about that he is the Brahmana Patni.
Yeah, that's what I said. The other one is indirectly indicated here in Chaitanya Bhagavata.
Oh, okay.
Why Mahaprabhu telling Shuklamra Brahmachari, don't you remember that I took away from you even though you didn't want to give? That's pointing to Sudama.
Yeah.
Like
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. Thank you, Prabhu. Excellent session as always. Haribol.
Thank you, Mataji. Devotees, any of you have any realizations or questions? Prabhuji, if not, with your permission, shall we offer obeisances, Prabhuji, to everybody and to yourself? Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki jai, Shri Das Thakur ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Govardhan Giri Prabhuji ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the beautiful class.
Hare
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dandavad Pranam. Very nice class, Prabhuji. So many realizations. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Koti Koti Dandavat.